think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour.
Hello, hello.
Got Scott in here. We're doing we just went live for a few hours, folks. It was great. A lot of good information. I suggest you get over to the Patriot Tech. I'll link it down below. If not, just search the Patriot Tech. Very simple. It's our 2.0 backup channel, facing all the things that we faced here, shutdowns and shadow banning. But anyway, we just wanted to come here, wrap up, talk about a few of the things that we talked about in that couple hours.
Gosh, we were all over the place too, weren't we?
Yes, we were. But I'll let you.
Man, one of the biggest ones that's been annoying me, and I just haven't had time to put together any kind of a rant or a speech. My rant the other day when we were live with you and Woodman, I got some good comments back, so it felt good. So I'm going to try to do the similar here. Gillette trying to tell me how to be a man. Nike tried to do it. They offended me enough to where, see, I get to use the word offended. I don't like doing it either because I get tired of the PC. PC is where this next couple of minutes for me is going. And we're too politically correct. I definitely don't need anybody to tell me. I don't need ads to tell me how to be a man. I don't need ads how to tell my children how to be a young man. That's my job. I don't need the government's job, although they're implementing, and for years we know that the schools have been doing it. It doesn't take a government or a community or whatever. However,
a village.
Hillary's like, give us your children. It takes a village to malarkey. I want my freedoms. I want my freedoms to raise my children. This kind of goes back about a couple of the shows we've done about how I want to raise my kids. Can I punish them? What's corporal punishment? How can I go about punishing without the risk of not me going to jail. That's down on the list, but for them to turn out being good kids, good young adults. I have to have the ability to punish them and enforce certain things. And the spin on this, it kind of all ties together, is the social media garbage. I spent some time out in the community watching ball games lately and going places where I haven't gone in a while and listening to people's opinions. Kids are complaining of bullyism. There's things going on because of social media. Like I told you in Garage Talk, it was hard enough to be a kid prior to cell phones and social medias and the Snapchats and the Facebooks, and they're useful, but we were warned about it. The internet could be used for good, and it is, but it's also used for evil. And we know this is fact, but we continue to go along with it. Nobody's really implementing anything or even suggesting anything. So I'm going to be a little rough around the edges, I guess, and be a little conservative here and say my idea, because in my household, we try not. My two youngest don't have Facebook, and they're not going to. They dabble on the iPad, and they learn how to build cardboard box houses, and they're creative, and my wife is really good about that. But how about at least put an age limit? Well, okay, Scott, they can bounce around that, and you can lie. It's the internet. You can just use somebody else's name and get it. But how about the parents force it? Quit letting your kids get on social media. You're already going to get bullyism, and I know bullyism isn't going to go away. I know some people want corporal punishment for bullies. Well, how about corporal punishment for smartasses? Telling your teacher no, or harassing a teacher, or again, it's near and dear because I see a lot of people that are like my wife and I, and we raise our kids the best that we can with our values. But I think that is the right value. And I know that's biased, but I also see a large mass of people raising their kids, 8-year-olds with cell phones, to get on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you're worried about what Timmy says over in Iowa. Well, have you ever met Timmy? Well, no, but he said my shirt's stupid, and now I want to, kill myself.
Okay.
All right, these kids are precious. And we know, because we've been kids and we know how their brains think, we're very impressionable. Our emotions are running wild. How about we do them a favor and remove this stuff? Well, it's going to be pain in the beginning. Well, any good deed is worth paying some pain or some effort. So I don't really know how to wrap this all into a big speech of any kind. I guess that's why I like doing the show with you, because I can just rant a little bit and bounce ideas off you. But we definitely have a social problem in this country. And implementing Snapchat and Facebook actually just hurt it even worse. We need to be raising tough, strong, young kids. We don't need to be worrying about transgender identities and all of this. And you may not like those.
So that goes back to how they say that the CIA engineered Facebook, and they brought it to Mark Zuckerberg over at one of their go-to places, Yale, Harvard, whatever. So if that's the case, they just used a front man to make it look like it was a kid, just somebody like us that came up with something out of his garage over at college, though. And now here it is. And things that they had to do before to get all this information were warrants and all these backdoor things. And now with something like this, it's just everyone gives it up.
Sure.
You're walking around with a tracking device. You're telling them, hey, I just got to the store. Hey, just checked in at work. I'm at lunch at work. I'm leaving work. I'm heading home. I mean, all these things are given now. Where back in the '80s, even simply with we were garage talking about your dad. God bless, great man. Think about that.
If you were going to be on the phone,
did he tell you though? Like when you guys maybe as a family, your brothers, sisters, mom, dad. We got the phone, and you maybe had the answering machine. Maybe you didn't, but people that did, and it was a common thing to even with the people that had your number directly, you didn't put a lot of information out to these people. You didn't worry about the random call, and if a random did call because somebody dialed a number wrong, they didn't know who they were calling and what address. They just knew that when the answer machine came on, well, I don't know these people, so they'd hang up. Yeah. But you're not broadcasting, hey, the Philly family, we're not home right now. We're gone for about 3 more days.
Come steal
Our house is
stuff.
empty. Yeah. You were worried about the small amount of family that would call, and you didn't want to put these things out there. But now on Facebook, you do. You leave your home in the morning, you're like, leaving.
I don't.
Yeah.
I go.
We know these things, right?
The idiots that we're going on vacation. We won't be back for 7, 10, 12 days. Come rob my house. It's just that's another spectrum of the old interwebs. We don't even realize we're doing it because it feels, after you start using it, and here it's been years, we all using it. It's just like second nature now. Oh, some girls want to tell you they're curling their hair. I don't care, by the way.
Yes.
I just got done taking a douche. Whatever.
Every
it is,
move.
I'm like, oh my God.
I'm in the produce aisle at the store.
I think Facebook initially, I don't know that it was intended for all these purposes, but now everybody is a critic. Everybody can voice their opinion. They're getting so used to, Nate out there was going to appreciate the hell out of this, the tough guy isms online, You
portray, you're allowed to be what you always wanted now.
Right.
Because do most people...
You said that exactly right.
Right? That is what folks, you look at these YouTube channels, people that vlog all day, and you think like, oh my God, I'm with it. It's a 20-minute vlog, but yet you see him wake up, you see him do lunch, and you see him in the evening with his family and kids, and oh, hey. And you don't see him yelling at the kids. You don't see him spanking and disciplining the kids because they edit all that out.
Right.
They're giving you the best that they got out of a 24-hour.
Reality TV.
Yeah.
When that first came on, Dad died probably a year or two after reality TV hit mainstream big time. He said, I don't understand this. And here's an older guy, educated, great morals, just solid man. And when he said, I don't understand this, I paid attention. And his answer was, everybody's tuning in to see what everybody else's reality is.
Yeah.
If you turn the TV off, go make your own reality. Why do you care? Why do so many
people want to
they
feel
call it
justified?
Entertainment. Well, then they start duplicating. These young girls are trying to be Kardashians. I'm sorry, but my daughters are not going to be Kardashians. And if they attempt to, I'm going to put my foot down. The influence, this is where I was going. The influence from media and TV, movies, and video games, it has always been bad enough. But now we have influences from people all around the globe that one of our kids can just click friend. And now they're friends, right? They might as well call it acquaintance request, right? We're not friends. Hell, you're not even acquaintances. But then these children value everybody's opinion.
Follow the stars.
So much, yes. Like I said, so-and-so didn't like my shirt, so I don't want that shirt. And so over there, that's what they're doing in California, Dad. Well, you're not in California. The influence is devastating, and we have gotten to the point where it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you it is a big deal. Locally, we've had children attempt and or complete the task of suicide because of voyeurism bullying, face-to-face bullying, We are raising a soft society, and it is our fault. And I don't want to pass the buck or push blame. Maybe my kids are guilty of it, but I tend not to believe that because they're raised tough. But these kids we're as adults, we're putting questions in children's minds. Do you really feel like a boy? Do you feel like a girl? What bathroom do you want to wear or use? Why are we asking such immoral questions? What do you think that's going to do to their behavior and their psyche? You're supposed to represent, Mike, to your boys, man. And the woman in the house is supposed to. And I know it's not always fair because there's not always a man or always a woman. And some moms have to be mom and dad. And God bless you for doing that. But I've also in turn done the same thing. I've had to tone it down some because there were times in my life I was both parents. So I got to learn a few things, but that didn't mean I needed to baby or soften my children's upbringing. I mean, hell, my daughters are raised tougher than some boys anymore. So, I don't know where this was heading, but I'm starting to realize I'm not alone. It should be okay to raise our children the way that we were raised, the way our parents were raised. Yes, things have advanced with times and things do change a little bit, but morals and values shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a social engineered breakdown of society. I mean,
you think they're trying to do? I mean, obviously they're trying to do.
Well,
that.
yeah, it's definite.
Dumb you down, dumb the kids down.
Keep it. Yeah, they're playing games. I would say, like you said, I've heard, I can take it way back before Facebook and all that, to a second grade teacher, and she had made the comment, and it sticks with me, that in real life anyway, and I don't know how it works, maybe it's gotten to that point with social media, like you said, some guy from Iowa all the way to somebody locally here, and they can hear a bad comment and then get real, not feel good about it. In real life, people that you knew, she said, hey, it starts the first thing in the morning. If you walk by somebody and you're like, your shirt's ugly, that could affect somebody. Oh man, they get self-conscious, and instead of saying, hey, it's a nice shirt, and you can make somebody's day kick off positive.
Or shut your mouth.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? I tell my kids, and if you think I'm lying, you could ask them, but it is truth. When I drop them off at school, I tell them, love you, hug them, go make somebody's day better, and be bigger than yourself. And I mean that. My mentor taught me that. He said those things to his kids, and I thought, I'm going to implement that. And I see it working with my kids. I get feedback from teachers, and they're still kids, they still make mistakes, but man, your kid goes out of his way or her way to pick somebody up. Locally, we just had a kid, and I don't want to get into depth or to even tell you where. Just locally, he felt bad enough about life where he tried to hang himself, and everybody thought he was successful right away. And apparently he has a little bit of autism or something. And as a parent, I would smack my child if they seen somebody being bullied and they didn't intervene. It's bad enough if you jump in and pick on that kid too, but I'm more upset that you did nothing. If you come home with a black eye because you try to help and defend somebody, then that's called life. You seen something being done that was wrong, you intervened. I'm proud of you. The schools might kick you out, but I don't participate with PC in my household. If you get a detention or suspended, I'm all for that, as long as you do it that way. If I ever catch you bullying and picking on somebody, well, then you're going to have that price to pay as well. The problem is nobody steps up. These kids are afraid. There's still some that probably do. But we should encourage our children to, you want to stop bullyism, the next time your kid sees a bully or gets bullied, right here, right underneath the nose, between the eyes. I'm not condoning violence, but we've gone so, well, I kind of do at the same time. Yeah. We've gone so far away from condoning violence that we don't even know how to defend ourselves anymore. Yeah. Well, my kid doesn't know how to defend himself. Well, that child's not going to be a child forever. Yeah. At 30 years old, when something bad happens in his life, or his boss is taking advantage of him or picking on him, what's he going to do? Come run to the office and whine and complain? Yes, he does have that right. But have a backbone. Put your shoulders back. Stand up. And don't be afraid to say what you're doing is wrong. And be prepared to be smacked right between the eyes for it, too. I mean, just because you're doing the right thing doesn't mean that bully ain't going to turn his attention to you. But maybe we should promote some of that instead of this, which bathroom are we going to use? What do you identify yourself? You give kids options, they get confused.
Oh, yeah.
Let them make those decisions later when they become adults. But we all know as parents, when you give a child options, the brain starts just churning. It's a lot easier to, I have the option to take the trash out. No, your chores, take the trash out. I didn't give them an option. Take it out or no. I
agree. Some of the best. Well, we had talked a week ago or so about, like you said, a local guy went into the Army, ended up hanging himself or whatnot. And my own story of that, going into boot camp in '97, and we had for being in the Navy, I had a chief, pretty high rank, and we had like a first class. So we had 2 drill instructors because we're there for 3 months, a little over 3 months, and they take shifts, they take turns. Eventually, in the beginning, they're both there all the time, working pretty good shifts. But eventually, around week 3 or 4, they start, one's not there, one's there. They're getting some good time off and rotating. Point being, on day 1, they were real like, hey, all right, everyone, 88 people, I think, was my people from all around the U.S., Hawaii, all the way to, Arizona. Just stacked up, 88 of us from all different walks of life. And day 1, they're walking up and down, looking at us, and really calmly said, I can't remember the thing, but he went into a speech of how nothing's ever that bad, and blah, blah, blah. And basically, the division before us, a guy had hung himself and died in boot camp. So they were pretty shooken up. Sure. I mean, you play the role of being an instructor trying to get people from civilian life into the military, and you're pretty hard. You're pretty hard. Yeah. Yep. And weeding out the people that shouldn't be there.
You're all unique, but they need you all to be on the same page, so they're molding you.
That's right. And it got really rough on somebody, maybe whatever reason, but he said it's never that bad and make sure blah blah. And that was about all it was. And I'm not saying I had a pretty easy boot camp because of that. They were pretty shook from. No, it was still rough. They pounded us into the ground, but
right.
And so I was probably this oblivious to whatever because about 2 weeks in, I'm coming back. I had to run back to the division and get permission from them at the classroom. I don't know if I forgot something or whatever. They told me to run back and get something that they needed for the class. So I was doing a favor for the RDCs, the drill instructors. And I come back, and there's one of the kids that wasn't in class, and I was thinking he was maybe down somewhere else, because in the first few weeks, people get called down to legal because they're running background checks, and if they find shit on you. So I just assumed, but I get back, and he's packing up his bag, and I'm like, what's going on with you? And I'm grabbing, and he's like, depression. And me at 18, just out of the life I've lived, I was like, the only thing that popped in my head was like the Great Depression in the 30s.
Right.
And I'm like, depression? What do you wear? What? And he's like, well, I'm going back home. And I'm like, well, your dad owns a business and he's going through like a depression. I didn't get it. Right. And I had to he's like, no, I'm depressed.
I know of your childhood.
I'm like, oh. Right. And that's all it takes to get out of here because I'm depressed too. I was, but
you volunteered.
That's what as my walk back, I'm thinking, so he's depressed and he's getting to go home. The hell.
I get,
I'm depressed.
That beats the hell out of trying to say, no, you signed a contract, you're not going anywhere. We are, that's why I said, sometimes there's unique situations where we have evolved and we don't have to necessarily be like the 50s and 60s with some of our more, it's probably okay to let a soldier decide, this ain't for me, because the rest of y'all probably don't want that guy. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. It just wasn't a fit. But the military shouldn't also be, everybody go rushing and see if you're a fit and waste everybody's time. No, you can't do that either. It's not, I didn't like it, so I'm going to go ahead and leave now. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there, but it is definitely probably a good thing that they didn't force him to stay. Well, you don't want to be on a boat now, huh? Or a ship, sorry. I know you guys don't like that. But maybe we can find you another job. Oh, no. Once you find that individual is not, I'm not going to say not right then, it's not suitable for him to be there, get him out of there.
And I'm wondering how that works because it was 97. We're talking like, I guess, not a draft. It's peacetime pretty much. Yeah. But that's all it took, Yeah, it's an all volunteer. So after that, you'd get to the ship or your duty station, you'd hear people really complaining. It's like, man, you signed up for this shit. It wasn't a draft. So what? Hell, for the drafts, if somebody was like, I'm depressed,
tough,
because all them guys could have said it.
The old patent.
I didn't want to be here. I didn't sign up. You drafted me. I'm depressed.
Well, at that point,
okay, you're out of here.
Well, that was a different era where we needed bodies. Thank God our military's gotten sophisticated enough to where we don't necessarily need flesh on the ground all the time. In those numbers. anyway.
Well, and that I honestly, folks, just to bring this up, I watched a documentary that blew my mind probably just about a week ago on YouTube, and it was made in the early '80s, and it was about I don't know what this guy. He found veterans that were living. This is probably made in '81 or '82. It's a really obscure old documentary. These vets are living in the woods still to this. I mean, I don't know about. I wanted to look into it. I have it written down, but it's like this documentary is made in the '80s, Vietnam. These people were leaving in the '70s.
They bugged out.
They were for fear. Some of them were not right. These vets were really messed up. Some of them. One of the guys was drafted. And I never wanted to do it. And, but he found all these people that still live in the woods around the U.S. that weren't good to their families anymore, they felt like. And for their own safety, for their family's safety, they bugged out, went out to the woods. They felt safe out there.
Wow.
But it was a pretty wild documentary. This guy managed to find like 15 people, not all in the same woods, around the country, in different woods, different.
The things that go unspoken and talked about.
That hit me up pretty hard.
We could take that in any direction. I mean, here we got vets going through stuff like that. We got civilians going through nasty things, and we're worried about borders and blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could spin this any direction we want. But
we're at 20 minutes already.
Yeah. So I really wanted to just voice my opinion. I didn't say anything real factual. It's just opinion. I hope it becomes factual. I hope most of you say, no, Scott, that is factual. I mean, we should intensify our morale, our beliefs, our core values with our children. We should probably really take a look at social media being a thing that our children, preteens, don't need. I don't know how to do it. I'm not saying that I have all the right answers, but I can tell you how it works in my house, and that is my youngest two will not have a Facebook account for at least some more time. I mean,
you're supposed to be 13 anyway, I believe, in their own
at 13
contract.
You believe me,
That's
you know
young.
their mother.
That's young.
She's not going to allow it. I'm not going to allow it because it's my job to make sure that they are tough, strong, and can handle this world where it isn't fiction, it's reality. Don't look at the Kardashians and think that when you go out there, you're going to be driving Lamborghinis and $4,000 dogs in your purse. And, this is reality. Reality is you better know how to protect yourself. You better have a good work ethic. Be polite. Be courteous. Stand up for your rights at a young age. Smack a bully in the face. Do the world a good deed. And that bully, most bullies or some bullies eventually become good people. Sometime they wake up and be like, oh, I was a jerk. Don't be afraid to raise your kids the right way. And don't let them pressure you. Remember who the adult in the situation is. The minute you forget that, your household tends to go downhill. So don't forget who the adult in the situation is. Don't be afraid to tell your kids, no, you're not getting a Facebook account or a Snapchat. And if you do let them, monitor it. Ask your kids often, are you feeling all right? Anything going on? Pry. That's your job. Pry. Oh, nothing, Dad. Well, that usually means something.
Yeah, that's right.
So take our children's childhood back. Take it away from big business. Take it away from big media. Take it away from politics. Take it back. Just take it back.
There you go, folks. Leave it on that. I'm going to give Scott a minute here. He just said all that. I don't have nothing more to add. How about the fact that we want to shut her down? We're getting long, but 100,000 plus subscribers now. Yeah. How do you feel?
Mikey texted me the other night. I follow often, everybody. I do. I try to get on as much as I can, message board, video, whatever it is. I like to be at the studio. How humbling when you text me and said, man, we did it. 100,000. And a day later, I was back in the same gymnasium watching another basketball game. I looked down, and it was 105,000. I can't put into words right now how it's just awesome. It truly is awesome. I mean, we're doing this. We started doing this because we're Patriots, and this was our platform. So thanks to all the subscribers. Thanks to all of you that have rang the bell. Thanks to all of you that have sent in donations and gifts that, believe me, they get used appropriately.
Shared to their different social medias.
Absolutely. Somebody sent in the beanies. I just wore that on the last show. Some coffee mugs, some cool coins, monetary values. Those donations are much appreciated, and believe me, they get put to good use. None of us are living high on the hog here. We're just middle class folk, and again, we started this because we were told we couldn't talk like this elsewhere in society. We were asked too many times to shut up. Yeah. So they don't get to tell us to shut up here in the studio. thank God.
Yes, right.
Thank God for our freedoms and our abilities to do this. Thank you to you guys, and whatever feeling you have for us, believe me, it's reciprocated back
Yes.
towards you. Appreciate it.
We just wanted to reach a few people, and boy, oh boy, did we. And we definitely promote anyone out there to get their own platform, do what we're doing. We support it. We'll put you on blast ours, and people will join, because that's what we're about. We need more of this.
Yeah, we'll share it like Cooper said. Do it, and then we
Yes.
can share. I mean, like he said, we promote it. Start your own, and give us the links. We'll gladly do it. We're not afraid to do that, or call in if you don't have the ability to do this platform. I understand. Don't be afraid to chime in, because we want you. We want to be a part of your opinion and what's going on in your world. Keep it patriotic, and you'll always have a friend in me.
That's right.
Always.
All right, and we're looking out for midnight tonight as a final little Easter egg here. Not anything hidden. We've talked about it in the live show, and you guys know what's going on anyway. So we'll be back maybe in the next day or two. Scott beaming in maybe tomorrow if possible, or if he can be in studio if we see things happening.
Yep.
We're here to follow. What if everything is restored? Well, we're here to keep watching the new guard. All right, the
Correct.
new people we put in DC, the new helm, whatever you want to call it. We're here to follow that really closely from here on out, because that's what we have to do. Otherwise, we get back to what we were.
Same, stagnant. Where we go one, we go all.
That's
Good
right.
evening.
Good evening. Love you guys. Keep fighting for your rights.